my name's Chloe. Today I'm going to be talking about in the city. Well, in the cities, you know, maybe if you're living in the city, you will be really, maybe, pretty nice about this topic because you're living in the city. You know more than people living in their countryside like me. But let's just see what's in the city. You know, there are different kinds of cities in our country, like Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi City. Yes, Hanoi City is the capital of our country, right? I bet you've all known that. Or many are city like Da Nang City. In my place, we also have Bến Tre City. Yes, that's right. But let's just see what's inside the city. First, we're gonna have parks. Parks are places that kind of like built by the publics, built by a lot of people putting money together. Usually a park will be place first to rest aside, to maybe take some pictures with friends, talking with friends, or sometimes you go out into the park, you'll see some people, some adults working, running around the parks as an exercise. Some people just sit there and talk with their friends. Usually there'll be bushes and flowers around the parks. In some big countries, they have a different park as national parks. They are different kind of parks, They're the parks that have the animals that needs to be protected. Like Yellowstone National Parks. Yeah, maybe it's like so. So, parks. My cousin really likes to go to parks because that helps her to relax after they study. Next is hospital. Usually there will be really big hospitals in the cities. In my countryside here, they just have small hospitals. Yes, right. That's okay. Well, hospitals here, they used to take care of the patients around that are sick or something like that. Yeah, so that's hospital. Next we're gonna have is pet shop. Pet shop is a shop where people sometimes they would sell pets like dogs, cats, hamsters, birds. Yeah. Or sometimes you can see there's a lot of volunteers inside that works in the pet shops to take care of the pets. They didn't have a person to be the owner of it. Yeah, so a pet shop is a really interesting place for you to visit. If you really like to have some pets, try to visit them sometimes. Next we're gonna have is a museum. There are different kinds of museum, not just one kind. Well, you can see a museum is a place where it helps you to learn more about something by pictures or models. Like if you want to learn more about science, you're coming to a science museums. You can learn, okay, in the Milky Way, there are these planets, and what planets would orbit around the sun. Yeah, well, you would learn nearly everything in that museum. But what if you want to learn about dinosaurs when you go to the art museum? You can't learn anything about dinosaurs. Yeah, so just be careful about the museum you visit. Yeah, but that's museum. It's a pretty interesting place for you to try to go. Okay, next we're gonna have is bank. Do your parents have a bank account? Well, bank is a place first to keep our money inside. We'll usually be given a card first, and we put our money inside of the banks. The banks will keep our money. When we need that money, we just need to use that card out to take out the monies. The bank will just give you the money that you have put in. Yeah, well, bank is a pretty safe place for us to save our monies. Yeah, that's right. So, That's big. A pretty useful place for you to try to save some money. Next we're gonna have is post office. This is a place for people maybe if you want to give a letter to somebody, as if you're in Vietnam, you want to give a letter to Korea, then maybe you should try to use the post office, because you just need to write a letter, put a stamp on, and you put it to the post office, and there will be some people. But there's not just only letters to be given in post office. Sometimes you always see like if like different things that you buy in shops online, your different presents that somebody buys giving you from farthest things away. Yeah, well, post office is a pretty neat place for us to give us different things. Okay, next we're gonna have is church. Church is a place for people who are have like stand for Jesus or for God. People like us usually. If it's not, people sometimes usually stand for Buddha more. That's right. But many kids in countries like Canada, Japan, United States will think about, okay, Jesus is my God. He's my Savior. Well, that's it. It's church. Next, we're gonna have is telephone booth. You know, maybe if you want to call somebody, like maybe calling your sisters to pick you up at a church, and then your phone runs out of batteries, you need to find a telephone booth. This is a place where they will plug in into some telephones so that you can call your families. Yeah, but it's pretty rare for us to find some. It would really does hurt us to find. It'll take a pretty long time, but it's pretty useful if you're standing near a telephone booth. It can call anybody you meet. Next is crosswalk. Well, if you don't have a crosswalk while you're walking down, nobody would curious about that, and then they would just maybe they would have a traffic problems, or maybe if you're not walking across the crosswalks, you'll be really in big danger. If you're lucky, maybe there's no cars going to hit you. But usually, if you're not walking around a crosswalks, especially in big streets, they will just maybe having traffic happens or something like that. Well, just make sure you walk on the crosswalks or walking with an adult. Okay, next we're gonna have is bus. Bus is a special kind of transportation. It's a public transportation. What does public transportation mean? It means transportations that can be used by the public. Yeah, that's right. All people can use it. It doesn't need to be the owner. Yeah, it doesn't need to be so. Next is bus stop. People would sit at the bus stop here for waiting the bus to pick them up. And bus would just put them off the bus in a bus stop too. Well, that's bus stop and bus. Well, in the city where maybe you're living in, there will be a lot of different places where you can find, like really big supermarkets or festivals. You would meet a lot of schools, of big schools, or you can also visit a lot of different interesting places. Yeah, well, if you're living in a city, congratulations, you're living in a really great place. But maybe if you're living in the countryside like me, don't worry, because every place has its own unique. Well, just be proud of the place where you're born in. See you next time.